Back in 1972, the U.S. Mint made millions of quarters at the Denver Mint, which is why the coin has a small letter, D, on the front, near the date. But while producing all those coins, the Mint made a few mistakes. Some coins were struck on the wrong kind of metal. Others were not lined up properly when they were stamped. These are called error coins. Most of them were caught and melted down, but a few escaped. And now, those few coins are worth a lot of money to collectors. One of the most famous 1972 D errors is a quarter that was struck on a blank meant for a penny or another coin. That means the size, weight, or color might look off. Another type of error is called an off-center strike. This happens when the coin was not placed correctly inside the machine, so the design is not fully printed on the coin. Some other quarters from 1972 show doubled images, where parts of the writing or the numbers look like they were stamped twice. These are called double die errors. All of these mistakes make the coin rare. And rare coins are very valuable. People have paid tens of thousands of dollars for these error coins. One sold for $36,000. Another sold for $50,000. And one of the rarest 1972 D error quarters ever found sold for an incredible $84,000. That's more money than most people make in a year. And it all came from a tiny quarter that someone probably spent without even knowing what it was. So how can you tell if you have one of these rare coins? First, look for the D under the date. That means it came from the Denver Mint. Then check for anything strange. Is the coin smaller than normal? Is it lighter or heavier than a regular quarter? Does it look like part of the design is missing or off-center? Do the letters or numbers look blurry or doubled? These are all signs that you might have a rare error. You can also weigh the coin. A normal 1972 quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs much more or much less, that's a clue that it could be struck on the wrong type of blank. If you find something that looks unusual, don't clean it. Cleaning a rare coin can actually make it worth less. Instead, keep it safe and send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will look at your coin, grade it, and let you know how much it's worth. These coins are not just fun to collect. They tell a story. A small mistake at the mint turned an everyday coin into something rare and valuable. That's what makes coin collecting so exciting. You never know what you'll find. So the next time you get change from the store, take a close look at your quarters. That plain little coin might actually be worth $84,000. Hey, coin lovers! What if I told you that a simple 1976 Bicentennial quarter could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even more? It's not just a regular quarter, it's a rare piece of history that could make you a lot of money, and I'm here to tell you how to find out if you've got one that could make you rich. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for in your pocket change or collection to see if you're holding on to a goldmine of a coin. The 1976 Bicentennial quarter was made to celebrate America's 200th birthday. That's right, in 1976, the United States celebrated its bicentennial, or 200 years of independence. To mark the special occasion, the U.S. Mint created a whole series of special coins, including the quarter, the half-dollar, and the dollar. The quarter had a unique redesign, with a drummer boy on the back, which was a tribute to the American Revolution. Instead of the usual eagle on the back of the coin, this new design showed the drummer boy representing the spirit of the times. The 1976 D part of the coin is important because it tells you where the coin was minted. The D stands for the Denver Mint, one of the places where coins are made. The 1976 Bicentennial quarter was made in huge numbers. In fact, more than 500 million of them were produced that year. So, when you find a regular 1976 quarter, it's likely not going to be worth much. But that's not the end of the story. There are rare versions of the 1976 Bicentennial quarter that can be worth a lot more than just a few quarters. Some of these coins have special errors or features that make them super valuable to collectors. So, let's break it down. If you happen to find one of these special error coins, you could be looking at a value of hundreds, thousands, or even more. The first thing you need to understand is that most of these quarters are not valuable just because they were made in 1976. What makes them valuable is the condition and any errors or mistakes they may have had during the minting process. Let me explain what I mean by errors. One of the most valuable types of errors is called a double die. This is when the coin's design is doubled, that is, part of the image on the coin gets struck twice, making it look like there's extra detail in certain places. On a 1976 bicentennial quarter, this could happen to the date or some of the lettering around the coin. A double die error can make a coin way more valuable because it's something you won't find every day. Another error that can make a quarter valuable is when the coin gets struck off-center. This happens when the coin doesn't land perfectly on the die when it's being struck, which causes the design to be off-center or uneven. If you find a 1976 bicentennial quarter with a big off-center strike, it could be worth a lot of money because collectors love coins with unusual, unique features like that. There are other mistakes that can happen too, like repunched mint marks. This happens when the mint mark, the D, on your coin, gets struck multiple times during the minting process. If you look closely, you might see double impressions of the mint mark, which makes the coin a lot more valuable. Now, let's talk about the condition of the coin. A coin that's in great condition, meaning it looks like it was just made, with no wear or scratches, will be worth a lot more than a coin that's been through a lot of use. Most coins in circulation get worn down from being used over and over again, so they lose their value. But if you come across a perfect, shiny coin that looks like it hasn't been used, then you've got a much more valuable piece. When coin collectors look at coins, they use a system called grading to determine how good the condition of the coin is. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. If you find a 1976 bicentennial quarter that looks brand new and has almost no wear on it, it could be graded as a mint state coin. If it's in perfect condition, it might get a grade of MS 65 or higher, which means it's worth way more than just face value. But, even with coins in good condition, error coins still have the highest value. For example, a double die or off-center strike coin could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Some really rare error coins have sold at auction for as much as $50,000 or more. That's right, just one coin could make you a small fortune. Let's talk about the value of these coins. If you're holding a regular 1976 bicentennial quarter in average condition, it's probably worth just a little bit more than face value, like 50 cents to $1. But if you have a perfectly uncirculated coin that's in mint state condition, it could be worth $50 to $200. The real excitement happens when you find a rare error coin. A coin with a double die or off-center strike could be worth anywhere from $500 to $5,000 depending on the type of error and the coin's condition. And like I mentioned earlier, some of the rarest and most sought-after coins have sold for $10,000 or even more at auction. Now, you might be wondering, how can you know if your coin is valuable? The first thing you should do is look at the mint mark. As I said earlier, the 1976 bicentennial quarter has the D mint mark on the back. If it doesn't have this mark, then it's not a 1976 D. It could be a coin from another mint or another year. So, make sure you double-check the mint mark. Then, you should look closely for any of the error features I mentioned earlier. Check for a double die, an off-center strike, or a repunched mint mark. These errors can make the coin much more valuable. If you see any of these, then you might want to take your coin to a professional to have it graded. A coin grading service will be able to tell you exactly how much it's worth based on its condition and rarity. But even if you don't find a rare error, a coin that's in great condition and still looks brand new could be worth more than you think. You might not be holding on to a $50,000 coin, but even a mint state 1976 bicentennial quarter could be worth a few $100s. So, here's the deal. If you're looking through your collection or digging through your spare change, keep an eye out for the 1976 bicentennial quarter. While most of them won't make you rich, the ones with errors or minting mistakes could make you a lot of money. Don't overlook the value of perfect condition coins either, because they can still be worth a pretty penny. And remember, coin collecting isn't just about making money. It's also about having fun and learning about history. The 1976 Bicentennial quarter is a piece of American history, and whether it's worth a few dollars or thousands, it's a cool reminder of a big moment in the country's past. Let's go back in time. In 1964, all quarters in the U.S. were made of 90% silver. But in 1965, something changed. The U.S. was running low on silver, so they decided to stop using it in quarters. Instead, they switched to a cheaper metal, a copper and nickel mix. All quarters from 1965 and beyond were supposed to be made without silver. But during this change, a few silver coin blanks from 1964 were accidentally left in the machines. And those blanks got stamped with the new 1965 date. That little mistake created a coin that should not exist. A 1965 quarter made of silver instead of the new metal. Only a small number of these error coins have ever been found. And when they are, they sell for big money. One of them went for over $38,000. Another sold for $41,000. And the highest one ever sold reached $180,000. That's life-changing money for just one quarter. And the best part? It looks almost like a regular quarter. You could walk right past it without even knowing it. So how do you find one of these rare coins? First, check the date. It must say 1965. Then look at the edge of the coin. Most quarters after 1965 show a copper-colored line around the edge. But a silver quarter will have a solid silver edge with no copper showing. Another trick is to weigh the coin. A normal 1965 quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. But the silver one is heavier, around 6.25 grams. You'll need a small digital scale to check this. Also, listen to the sound. Silver coins make a clear, high-pitched ring when you drop them on a table. Clad coins sound duller. If you think you have one, don't clean it or scratch it. That can lower the value. Instead, send it to a professional coin grading company like PCGS or NGC. They can tell you if it's real and what it's worth. Getting it certified could be the difference between a $5 coin and a $50,000 treasure. Collectors love coins like this because of their history. It's not just about money. It's about finding something rare that was never meant to be made. A mistake that turned into a legend. It's a piece of American history that somehow made its way into the hands of regular people like you and me. And that's what makes it so exciting. So next time you get a handful of change, take a second look. That old quarter might not be so ordinary after all. You never know, it could be one of the rarest coins in the world. And if it is, you're not just holding a coin. You're holding a fortune.